Strippers. What really happens in a private, VIP dance?
A buddy of mine got super drunk after a breakup and passed out in a VIP section. She just kept dancing and security wouldn't let us in there and eventually threw us out altogether. Had to call the cops to get them to let us go get him. They were literally just trying to rob him. I'll never go back to another one again after that experience.
Emo, this is pretty standard. VIP dance is where they make their money basically doing credit card fraud on drunk idiots. I've never done it so I can't say with certainty, but let's say the cover is $30 and you bring $50 in ones to tip. That's not the big fish. The big fish is the drunk idiot paying $1,000 for a bottle of champagne and a 1-hour lap dance.
Depends on the girl. I once had a guy who wanted me to punch slap and put my 6-inch heel in his balls. I tried but just couldn't do it. I said he needed a hug, but I went and found him this real mean girl so he could get what he wanted. Team player.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Had a dancer give me her pho recipe once. That was weird, and it wasn't a particularly good recipe.
That's weird. As a Vietnamese person, that is very interesting thing for someone to just be giving out the recipe. I don't see enough people appreciate pho how they should. Interesting.
She wasn't giving away the family secret. It was basically chicken stock. No unique or Vietnamese spices whatsoever. No star anise, cardamom or even ginger. So either it was stripper BS, or she was a lousy cook.
The only club I've worked at where anything more was done regularly is now shut down. Everywhere else, the private dances were full contact, but sex was rare and risky.
Greater than full contact. Okay. I'll be the innocent pigeon opening up his wings into the world. How full is full.
No badge, no butthole. That's it. For the smartasses, obviously no stupid stuff like fingers in ears, but that shouldn't have to be said.
The year is 2016, in Vegas with some buddies for March Madness. Find ourselves at Spearmint Rhino on the last night of the trip, all wasted and exhausted. 2 brothers on the trip disappear in the VIP room. They are in no shape to be making decisions like that. 2 hours go by and they are still gone. I know something is going on and I'm also ready to GTFO of that place. It was around 3 a.m. I go to the VIP room and ask to go speak with them. Bouncer, who was legit 7 foot 450, told me I was not allowed back there. I turned to walk away, then attempted to sprint past him. Ended as you might imagine with me sitting in the parking lot. Next morning those guys wake up with wicked hangovers and $7,000 in charges to their credit cards, saying they only got champagne and food that stippers kept bringing to the table for them to pay for that they didn't order.
You'll get FE'd in the champagne room one way or another.
So from what I am reading, it's like a sexual loot crate. Pay money first, then see what you get.
Asterisk A are reading this asterisk. Write that down. Write that down.
You have to tell the customer how you feel about their screenplay.
So they really do spit on your face and crush your balls. Not a stripper, but had a friend who was for a few years. She had a regular who would buy an hour in the VIP room just so he can have the girls act like he was a dog. Not really degrading, just more he was the loved family dog. He tipped very very well and said she never even had to take off her cloths or touch him aside from pats on the head.
Something tells me the poor fella doesn't get much affection.
The first time I went to a strip club, a friend bought me a private dance. While she was doing her thing, she whispered in my ear, "I'll let you F me in the ass for $200. I declined, saying I didn't have that much left on me. Then she said, "How about $50? I said I didn't have any cash left on me. I take credit. So I guess sometimes that happens. Edit. Some folks have been asking, and no, I politely declined.
Was at a strip club in Vegas. Friend had just won a poker tournament and we were partying at the tail end of a night of heavy drinking. They had 30-minute long $500 VIP dances where you also had to buy 4 drinks for an extra $64. I got one, and while that was happening my friend came in back with a girl too and had me get another half-hour dance, so I wasn't just waiting on him. As we were leaving he said she told me she would come to my room and do whatever I wanted for $500, and I had to remind him that meant she probably wanted to rob him. She was just grinding on you for $500, why F you for the same price?
Most of the time private dancers are just stripping down until you're naked and grinding on their junk. Some guys fixate on a certain body part and want to see that mostly. Motorboating was a big hit, lol. Like some guys like boobs, booties, or feet. It's honestly whatever the customer wants and the dancer is willing to do. Of course there are club rules that need to be followed. I was a dancer about 10 years ago and for the most part one enjoyed it. A guy once paid me $100 to kick him as hard as I could in his balls. Another guy paid me $100 to sniff a line of coke off my ass. Another guy liked when I did circles with my finger around his nipples and paid $1,000 over 6 months to do so. Another guy paid me $50 to smell my feet and to put them on his face. These are examples off the top of my head, there are many more I'm forgetting.
Greater than another guy liked when I did circles with my finger around his nipples and paid $1,000 over 6 months to do so. What's Jim Norton like in real life?
Used to go to strip clubs every weekend when I was in the service. Dirty strip clubs get right down to BJS, sex, anything you want. It's a sketchier version of AW House. The nice clubs are mainly just dances until you splash some serious cash, even then it's mostly BJS. I took my buddy for his first time ever going to a strip club and I thought he got robbed. He came out of the room and I saw him signing for a $750 payment. I got pissed and was like, hey, what is this? He told me not to worry about it. After we got away from people he was like, I just got a double blow job, this is the best day of my life. Lol. Please respect the dancers. Just because you drop money doesn't mean you're going to automatically get what you want. Be chill with them and communicate. If you want something extra make it obvious up front, not all of these ladies are cool with that kind of thing. Sometimes it's nice to just chill and have a sexy chick dance around and have a conversation. It may open more doors or it may not. Just don't expect them to do anything they aren't 100% cool with. Also you can have boundaries too. Like no babe, sorry I have a no kissing rule too.
Is double BJ when you get blown and you have to blow the bouncer?
I have F-ed clients in the private dance rooms several times. In my country sex for money is not illegal, and most strip clubs also have private rooms for sex, but some customers want to F in the private rooms that are for dancing. Also here in my country it is illegal for someone else to collect money from sex work, aka pimping, so the club owners get their money from renting the rooms. Customers who F in the dance rooms pay the same but us girls get a larger cut, so we like customer who F in the dance rooms. Also it is risky because our security staff is checking to make sure we don't F in the dance rooms. Edit. I got lots of responses or DMs asking what country is this. It is Paraguay currently, but I have stripped and had the same experiences in Chile, Bolivia, Brazil and Argentina.
Do you ever dance in the F rooms?
Yes, and I don't even charge extra for that.
I was a stripper in the past and I once had a man spend 2 champagne half hours, $500 per half, for me to tell him about myself, what my future plans were, etc. etc. Also had a different dude pay me $50 to sniff my armpits. Then paid me $50 more to go downstairs to the locker room, wipe off my deodorant, and let him smell them again.
I had an armpit fetish guy too. The entire time we talked he just kinda kept his hands in my armpits and would smell his hands occasionally. I didn't dance with him, but a guy did pay me $50 to give me a foot rub and lick my toes and that was weird.
My roommate, who was a stripper, used to have a regular who just wanted her to grind her high heels into his junk. According to her, private dances run from not much happens to sex. Depends on the bar, depends on the dancer. She, herself, mostly had regular customers who came in to have somebody to hang out with. Basically, she sat half-dressed or naked, and just chatted. She still came home outraged a lot of the time because somebody had offered her a few $100 for sex of some sort. Some of her friends, if the offer was enough, would go further.
Further than sex? What am I missing out on?
I was buying lap dances from this stripper, like dance after dance after dance. Eventually she says, if you are going to spend this much money you might as well buy some time in the executive lounge. I asked what happens back there? She looks at me dead serious and asks, are you a cop? I say no. She responded S with, anything you want, and gives me a wink. So I drop the cash and go back there. A lot went on. She ended up blowing me after she pulled out some cocaine and offered to share it with me by letting me, and I quote, live every guy's fantasy by doing cocaine off a stripper's ass. I don't do DG, so I turned it down. It was a good time now.
It hurts that you lived out my dream and turned it down.
I was a stripper at Club Paradise, Las Vegas in the early 90s. The VIP room there was always filled with celebrities. Table side dancing was $30 a song. Drinks cost more than the usual rate as well. The only difference was you were accepted to laugh at their stupid jokes and sit with them for hours. 90s David Lee Roth was insufferable. I made more money out on the main floor. I also strongly disliked the power dynamic switch of celebrity status. On the main floor, the girl is the attraction and the guys were on their best behavior with a ton of tuxedo-wearing bouncers around. Up above, the customer is in total control, which to me the entire point of stripping versus working cocktails was eliminated when now the customer is the one who can snap his fingers and have people running around. If you are going to be half naked, control is important. I also worked for a bit down the road at Olympic Gardens, not nearly as nice. I have no idea what happened in their weird velvet curtain rooms, but I'm sure it involved STDs. And man, those girls walked out with so much cash in the morning, but they were always broke.
Greater than and man, those girls walked out with so much cash in the morning, but they were always broke. I dated a strip a few years ago, this can't be any more true.
I was about 19, my buddy and I went to a local club to hang out and watch pretty naked girls dance. One girl really caught my eye, she noticed and offered to take me to VIP. Once back there we chatted the whole time. She was really sweet and we totally hit it off. As our time was finishing up, she asked me if I would consider being her personal bodyguard for some parties. Of course I said yes. We went to one in particular, a group of volunteer firefighters, and she made great money. I got paid 10%. While I was there, the guys convinced me to go to EMT school. I made enough money that night to enroll in the next class and spent the next 15 years working as an EMT. Edit, wow. Did not expect this to blow up. Thank you for all the awards, upvotes, and comments. So just to follow up, I lost contact with the dancer shortly after that. She made some really good money that night and may very well have made a career change herself. I'm not even sure I ever got her real name. I mentioned in the comments, if you know a woman, she'd be in her 50s now, that used to work at Deja Vu in Federal Way, who worked a firefighter party with a guy she met at work as her bodyguard, please tell her thank you for me and I think about her often.
So the answer to what happens in the VIP room is sometimes opportunity and good life decisions.
Sometimes. I lost contact with her afterwards and never got to say thank you. So if any of you know a woman, now in her 50s, who used to work at Deja Vu and worked a party of firefighters with a random guy she asked to be her bodyguard, please tell her I remember her and am always grateful.
I was a stripper for several years before becoming an escort. I also worked private parties like bachelor parties. What goes on in VIP? Whatever you're willing to pay for and what the stripper will do. Everyone says no sex in the VIP room. That's pretty much exactly what it's for. First time I did anything sexual in VIP, some guy said he'd pay me $500 to go down on me. I've done some crazy things in VIP since. Blowjobs are most common. I've had sex, gone down on girls, got spanked, danced while some guy fed another stripper. If the price was right, I'd do almost anything.
Greater than if the price was right, I'd do almost anything. Even my math homework?
Almost always. They pay a lot of money. For what? That depends. On the club and on the stripper and the customer. Sometimes just talking and drinking, and maybe substances, in private dances where more clothing comes off and more touching is allowed. Private shows, for example, with the customer's wife or something, per request, random fetish and sexual stuff. Could be anything.
I got one once. It was before I came out and I was at a strip club with family for my cousin's bachelor party. My cousin thought he was being nice by getting me a dance, which I pretended to be super into because I'm still in the closet. Anyways, I told her I was gay when we got to the back, so we just sat next to each other and chatted. She gave me a little dance at the end where she rubbed her boobs in my face. It was interesting. She was super nice.
I worked in a club one summer a few years back. My favorite memory was the time a guy bought a full hour of my time, and at one point Wow by Post Malone came on while I was dancing for him in the VIP room. I always used to mouth along the words when my back was turned, cause I'm at sing while ya work kinda person. I heard the guy quietly singing along and turned around to face him. We ended up singing along to the song together, while I was dancing naked for him. I always think of that time whenever I hear that song now, lol.
Kinda sounds like the beginning of a love story, oddly enough.
My time has come. I was 19 and was on vacation in Atlantic City with a group of guys from my high school. We went to a strip club one of the nights there, and me and my friend went to the back with these two very, very pretty ladies. I was young and sexually active, so my mind was all over the place with what might happen. When we got back there, the girls started dancing for us and taking turns grinding on each of our laps. Slowly they started making out and touching each other. One thing led to another, many dollars were exchanged, and girl 1 started to go down on girl 2 who was laying on my lap. When I tell you guys I did not expect to finish in my pants that night, well boy was I mistaken. I took that walk back to the hotel with the most uncomfortable pair of drawers. This was the single best time I could ever have in one of those clubs, and actually never went back to another one after that. I'm sure this will get lost in the new comments, but holy crap, have I wanted to tell this story to someone. Those girls changed my young life that night, and holy poo am I glad I went into that club that night. Edit. Now I can officially say I've been given gold for busting a nut. I love Reddit. Tears of joy rolling on the floor laughing.
I'm glad you came in your pants, dude. Seriously makes me happy. Edit. Thanks dude, you coming in your pants got me gold.
Depends how much you pay them. I had a friend who spent $1,000 at a strip club, and after he was all horned up, the chick just pulled his waistband down and literally blew air onto his DK, didn't touch it, just literally blew on it and he came. Edit. I meant to say $1,000. The K was just muscle memory from my work.
An older friend of mine paid for a private dance for me when I was just about to finish high school in Germany, just turned 19 at the time. The stripper was so pretty, it blew my young and inexperienced mind. When she took my hand and led me to the backstage room, she kept turning around, looking at me and giggling from time to time. I must have been like a deer in the headlights to her, and she enjoyed it to say the least. I was the most harmless, innocent and smitten little boy ever, and I could tell it boosted her confidence to no end. Rightfully so. Back then I had never seen a woman this pretty with that little clothes on. At least not in real life. The lap dance was pretty wild. She eventually finished me by sitting on my lap and grinding on me until it all went into my pants. She even continued after the music stopped because she wanted to ruin my night, I guess. Even grabbed my face and made me look at her until I came. Gave me a hug and a kiss on the cheek afterwards and giggled like a schoolgirl when I left. Spent 10 minutes in the bathroom cleaning myself and then went home blushing all the way back. Worth it though. Edit. Sorry people. Apparently I double posted by accident. EDIT2. Thanks for the awards.
Greater than she even continued after the music stopped because she wanted to ruin my night, I guess. F-ing, hilarious. Enjoyed this story.
Mate, that one sent me spinning. Seriously. You kind of want to come, but you also kind of don't because you don't want to mess up your pants. You keep alternating between these feelings, then the music stops. You are disappointed first, then relieved. At least you won't cream yourself. Then you see the look in her eyes and realize that she is going for it regardless. Complete roller coaster.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.